Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Should be going hot on Wimkin and others. People will be jumping on in just a minute. Welcome to everybody. Good to have you here. Test 1, 2, 3. Getting some flavor. Come on, people. There we go. YouTube is in the house. Facebook's in the house. Sprayly, Rumble, and Twitter. Waiting on Twitter. Good evening, Tommy. Welcome. Let's see if we can... there we go. There's everybody. Waiting for live video to hit on Wimkin. There it is. Wimkin's going live. That means Sprayly is live. And let's find out and make sure we're okay. By the way, the shirt of the show, folks, 15% off. Don't buy it yet. I got to put in the code. We'll do that right now. But 15% off, Identify as a Patriot, will go live in about 2 minutes. And you get 15% off. It's a beautiful shirt. It's right there and available for you. Putting in the discount as we speak. It'll be Pat15 with no spaces, just Pat15. And get yourself 15% off shirt tonight. It's a great idea. We've sold a ton. People have been buying this like crazy. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Just want to let everybody to know that shirt of the show is now officially up. Pat15 to save on Identify as a Patriot. What's really cool is that inside a Patriot and I identify the letters. It's full. It's got keywords from the Constitution in it, so it's pretty neat. I don't think I can blow it up. Yeah, I can. You can see them in there. They're just highlights of words, all words from the Constitution. It's a pretty cool design. We're going to shut that down so you guys can watch the video, and then we will make sure that we talk about it throughout the night. Stop on by thedumshow.com.
And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's
Dub Club, folks, exclusive benefits. Kind of nice. You get member discounts on the Dumb Show, monthly newsletter. You're getting quarterly gift boxes. And what's also great is it's a membership to getting monthly invites to our conference and things to that effect where you can actually talk with other members and myself. Pretty cool. Give it a shot. Stop on by. See what you think. TheDumbClub.com.
Hey, Hogswins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website. Yeah, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Step into Wimpkin.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Deborah, that is wonderful news. Your brother walked today for the first time in 2 months. That's a win. As I struggle with my farking headphone cable. Jeez Louise. What's going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome. Good news. We donated and raised over $500 for Damani Felder last night. Gave that to him last night. He was absolutely stoked. It was great. So huge surprise. Thank you for doing that. We went ahead and turned off our donations for 30 minutes towards the DUM Show, and we redirected our donations to Damani Felder, and it was great. So we've added something else that we're doing. I'm enjoying giving back, man. It's nice. It's been people have been so good to us that it just kind of has felt good to give back. The Trump Fight shirt, we are donating proceed match to Capitoli fire chief who died at the he was murdered. He didn't die. He was murdered at the Trump I don't know, I'm struggling with this, the Trump rally. And we made this shirt obviously to support Donald Trump, but also to kind of screenshot the moment in time and encapsulate it. So we've cleared $1,000 in shirt sales so far. I think maybe a little more than that. And I will keep you up to date with where we're at with this. And a proceed match is pretty simple. What we do is we take the proceeds that we make off of that. That's the profit off of that. And then we match the overall volume that we make. So if we make $500 on that, we donate $500. If we make $1,000, we donate $1,000. And what we make on this is nothing. And that's totally fine. We don't care. I would ask if you put a discount on it, it just puts less money into the donation to the family. But they have $3.5 billion. That thing's probably going to hit 10 or 20. So they're going to be just fine. But it's still, if you want to contribute, you can go over to thedumshow.com and get the Fight shirt. We got a lot to cover tonight. Wow. We've got RNC to do. We've got a bunch of stupid videos to go over. And honestly, it should be a fun show. Just make sure we're 5x5. Everybody make sure that we're all good across the channels. If you could do that for me, make sure we're on Wimkin. And Olivia's not here right now, so I'm going to go ahead and check Wimkin real quick to make sure we're on. And then if that's the case, then we should be live everywhere. Let me see here. Looks like, uh-oh. Are we not on Wimkin? Hold on, folks. If someone could help me out, let me know. If we are over on Wimkin, I'd appreciate that. I'm trying to find it out. There it is. Okay, we're good. So welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. If you have not had a chance, you can go over to Wimkin.com, who is our official social media sponsor. 9 million members over at Wimkin, and it is completely free and 100% censorship free, which is an amazing thing. Over there, Jason Shepard has Wimkin, and you can share what you want, get the videos you want. You don't have to worry about getting fact-checked by Facebook idiots, and it is a fantastic platform. It's where I spend a lot of my time, and you should have a look-see if you have not had a chance. All right, well, that's enough promo, and I hope we're okay with all of that. Oh, one last thing. linktapgo.com/thedumshow. This is something that is kind of funny. 3.5 years, we never asked for a donation. People offered, and we never, ever took one. And the reason why, pretty simple, is because we didn't need to. And Facebook decided to undercut us and take over 90% of our revenue. And when they did that, it put us in a tough position. So to continue to offer the show the way we like to offer it, bring it to you, it costs money to do that. So once you've taken care of your family, your friends, you got your vacation set up for the summer, if you have a little extra and you're looking to help the Dumb Show, this is how you can do it. linktapgo.com/dumb show. Click on donate or tip, and that's how you do it. Last thing, I know, a lot of stuff. We're on for 2 hours. We're going to be fine. There's the P.O. Box. It's just put in the chat on YouTube. It should show up on Facebook as well. If you need the P.O. Box, there's been plenty of people who've asked to get some form of address where we can go ahead and send information to you, or you can send information to us and ask questions, but also send donations. And now you can fairly simply by going to that P.O. Box. Other than that, let's get going. We got a lot to do. Likes and shares donation board is up, and we've got quite a bit to go through. So first things first, it's been a pain in the ass, to be honest with you, to go through and see some of the things that I've seen in regards to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And it's been frustrating, to say the least. And the reason why, obviously, is because people don't know what they're talking about. And that's probably one of the most frustrating things about all of this. It isn't necessarily that people are saying things, because you have a right to say things that you want. You have a right to convey what you want, but you don't have a right to have your own facts. And what frustrates me is that when somebody goes, there were 2 gunmen, and those 2 gunmen decided to go ahead and try to kill Donald Trump. And my comment is, what do you mean 2 gunmen? Please help me understand what that means. And they go, there were 2 gunmen. And I'm like, okay, but you're not explaining what that means. And then they say, well, I'm entitled to my own opinion. That's not an opinion. That's you stating that something's true that's not. And it's always, no offense, it's always, 60-something Karens who do it with 3 names. It's always 3 named Karens who do it. And, they'll come out and they'll go, this was the CIA, the FBI, and the Jews. And I'm like, why in that order? And 2, where are you getting your information from? Have you ever run operational security? Have you done PPD? Where's your expertise? Listen, I'm entitled to my opinion. No, you're not. That's not an opinion. An opinion is, I think this thing is really funny and weird. How so? Well, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I have a lot of questions in regards to, how did a 20-year-old kid pull this off? Did he have help? Could there have been a second gunman? Is it a situation where this was a setup? That is a question ready to formulate an opinion. Here's your opinion. I believe something nefarious was going on with this. I don't have any facts to back it up. It's just my gut feeling, and I'm going to stick to that opinion until I have other evidence to prove otherwise. Okay, what you've done is you put the pin back in the grenade. And you're like, hey, Yenny, you come in here, sweetie? Come on, come up with Dad. Mommy's not here. You got to come up with Daddy. Come on. Yeah, she didn't want any. All right, so once you put that pin back in, Patricia Haig, okay, Patricia, here's the cool thing. If it doesn't apply to you, you're not a Karen. But if you're like one of those people who are like, I think the moon's made of cheese. Well, why do you think so? Listen, I'm entitled to my opinion. No, you're not. In fact, that's not an opinion. That's stupid. You're retarded. Sorry. So I want people to be who they are. It's important to me. But when you come on the page and you're going to talk to somebody who has run OPSEC or done personal protection details, You're probably not the foremost expert. So just simply say, hey, this is my opinion. And a lot of people here will do this. You'll hear them and read them simply say, hey, this is my opinion. And you kind of get to say whatever you want at that point. Judy St. Vincent said, is it true that they pulled Trump's regular protection because Jill Biden was there the same day? Okay. We're going to talk about it tonight, okay? We're going to have that conversation. I got my hat stretcher. I got to leave it on for like 12 hours because my hat needs stretching because I have a big-ass head. So let's just remember, we're going to cover all these things tonight. But when you're out there and you get off the show and you're going to go run amok, please differentiate between your opinion and fact, because there's nothing worse. Hillary Clinton's a lizard. How do you know? Hey, I'm entitled to my opinion, just like you. But you don't want me to have my opinion disagreeing with your opinion. See, isn't that funny? Hey, I'm allowed to have my opinion, but I'm not. So what you're saying is I have to sit here and just let you say whatever you want on my page that I've worked 4 years to develop and allow you to espouse spastic nonsense. My opinion, I can't question you. Only your opinion, Matt. See how that works? Do you see how much of a Karen I sound? So let's even I think. No, I think isn't okay. Because why do you think that? Why do you think that? Well, because I'm just spitballing here. So you don't think. You're in the process of thinking and trying to uncover what your opinion is based on what? On what I think. Okay, so let me get this straight. Whatever you make up is going to be your opinion? Well, then that's not fact. That's you filling in the blanks without necessary, required, empirical, and exculpatory evidence to make an informed decision. So when people say, I think, why? Why are you thinking? Because I'm just thinking. I just want to think. I just want to think. I just want to go out with my girlfriends and get in a circle and think. Just think. Why? Why are you thinking? Well, because I'm trying to figure out something. Oh, okay. So you're not thinking. You're going through a process to design what you want to think. So explain the process. Well, I'm just making a bunch of shit up and filling in the blanks. Okay. So that's called pontification, supposition. It's dismissed in court for a reason. Now, if you're going to say, hey, I've taken the triangulation of the shooting, I've taken the reaction from the Secret Service, I've watched the video, and I've timed the shots in between each other, and here is my analysis on what I have, and I think, based on the evidence, this is my conclusion. I could be wrong, but here's what I've got. That is a completely different situation. Kyong says the sniper team that took out the shooter is not on the back of Trump. There is a third sniper team who possibly... See, and that's why I was very doubtful. If you guys remember last night, that shot did not come from him. Because his muzzle was in no position to shoot him in any way, shape, or form. It makes sense. And remember, I said I heard a shot from the other side of where the shot fired, where the assailant was. That's what I heard. See, I knew it. Kyung just said that there were multiple sniper teams. And I told you there would be multiple sniper teams. You never have one sniper team. There's no reason to have a sniper team if you're only having cover in one quadrant. And that makes complete sense that somebody else made that shot. Sarah, I don't care. Sarah, if you're offended by those things, then you're not gonna last on my show. You're not gonna like me. I probably shouldn't say that word, but it's if I can't have a little bit of slack, you know what I mean? You're gonna hate this. Because occasionally, and to say that autism is a form of mental retardation, I don't think that that's accurate. And if someone apologizes, you don't need to make it worse by pointing it out, Sarah. You know what I mean? If somebody makes, I think I can say on one hand how many times I've said that word on this show. That's the only time. But let's not be the left, right? Let's not be so myopic in our thinking. I don't think so. So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If someone apologizes, it should be over. I mean, we shouldn't have to point it out and say, hey, look, he said the R word, you know? I also said, you know, a few other words last week, and you weren't upset at those. So please don't make it about you if it's about you. And, you know, I said that's gay the other day, and I was joking around. And, you know, all the LGBTQ community didn't come out and go, why would you? We shouldn't do that. We're Republicans. We're conservatives. Are we really going to nitpick what we say? I mean, you deal with Izzo every single day. And that guy drops the C word more than any other human being I've ever met in my life. And, you know, I'm sure that offends women everywhere. So, you know, just, I don't know. Call me nitpicky, but, you know, whatever. Going to Bongino. Bye, Larry. Take Larry Hatfield, everybody. Pops in. Hey, great show. And then I'm going to go ahead and tell everyone to go to Bongino. Whatever. She needs to apologize to say that about my son. What, Thomas? Well, I know autism is not a form of mental retardation. So, you know, I'm autistic, and I've been told multiple times I'm the smartest people know. Yeah, I don't consider, I mean, geez, are we really getting all offended here? Yeah, it just comes down to this, folks. Can we just not be myopic? That's all I'm asking. You know, can we just? It's like, are we really offended? Because, like I said, in 4 years I've used the word one time. So I promise you, I have not used that word ever, and I shouldn't have to, you know, get my, you know, whatever, dude. Fuck, forget it. I'm done. I'm not doing this tonight. Let's just focus on the things that we can control and not the other things. I want to show you guys a couple things. And a lot of people are making comments about Donald Trump, in particular, in regards to the RNC last night and him coming through and wearing a small bandage on his ear. One second. Let me find it for us. Thought I saved it. That's fake. That's fake. Here it is. Let's watch the video. Now, I shouldn't get hit with copyright, so let's cross our fingers. Now, the first things first. A lot of people said that Trump looked weird. Let's assume that if your life was attempted and you had someone reach out to kill you, and 2 days later you're back out there. I want you to think about that. The closest thing I can compare to having your life almost taken from you is it's comparable. And I want to be very careful here because people are really fucking sensitive. It's very comparable from a reaction standpoint to rape or a burglary. Not the full facet of rape, obviously, because there's the physical pain, the mental anguish, and then obviously the reductive anguish that happens throughout the rest of your life. Very different situations. But there is a a truly palpable feeling of violation that takes place from someone trying to take your life. It's also similar to when you're burglarized or violated in that way, is that you feel like your security has been broken. And there's a barrier that you've put in front of yourself that has been encroached upon. And it is a very uneasy feeling. So imagine, first of all, that you're a little tired because you probably haven't slept very well. Imagine trying to roll over on that ear when you're sleeping. I think he's tired. But I think he came out and it was very important to him. But I also want you to remember this. Hi, Adeline. I want you to think about this. When you first become president and you start running, I'm sure you feel that little red dot on the back of your head all the time. Every time you walk out, you're like, you take a deep breath and realize, is this the time that someone takes a shot at me? So you kind of get used to that and you get anesthetized to it and it becomes numb. And if you ask a war fighter or somebody who's been downrange, it's the same thing, right? It's you think about it, but then you go, okay, you know what? I got to do my job. And if you constantly worry about it, you're going to get plugged. So you just keep your head down, do your job, and engage and follow your training, and God willing, you'll be okay. You get used to it. So same thing here. And then someone takes a shot at you. And you literally are millimeters from death. I'm going to show you how close it was in just a second with a video, a breakdown. And of course, the first minute you walk out there, it's going to be a little weird. It's just going to be a little weird. So people need to give him slack. It's also an emotional event. You got Junior crying. You got people standing up, heartfelt. And it's obviously impactful. So let's watch the rest of this, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. See, Adeline, I say everybody's name correctly. Some people just spell their name incorrectly. So, yeah, like Dodie spells her name incorrectly. Guys, keep on your questions. I see them. I'm going to get to them. I can't play the audio, but you can see. He just, when you go through a near-death experience, it changes you. And I think this is going to change him a little bit. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's a good thing. I think he'll come out still tough and arrogant and confident. But I think he will realize to focus on what's important, because I think the best thing I can tell you from people who've been shot at is that once you've been shot at, thank you, Sarah. Sarah, I wasn't mad at you for saying what you said. I just, what I was saying was if it draws attention to it again, then perhaps the sorry should be enough. That's all I'm saying. So if I offended you, I'm not sorry, because the word is the word. But it's not a word that I use in my vocabulary. So I'm with you. And I know it obviously meant something for me to apologize. So we'll move on. But you can tell anyone who's been shot at that life gets a lot simpler. It's a lot less complicated after you've been shot at. And you kind of just go, all right, now I know what it feels like. And I have a choice. I can hide and not get involved again, or I can continue to do what I'm doing and focus on the most important things in an effort to make the meaningful change that I want to make while I'm on this mortal coil from now on. And that's probably where he's at. Okay? So you've got to understand that. You can see it in his eyes. Just be critical. Just he's he's a little bit more reserved. I think this isn't the type of attention that he likes. He doesn't like sympathy. He doesn't like empathy. It's not his thing. He wants to be recognized for being great. He wants to recognize for being an A player, for being an alpha. And it's probably a little uncomfortable to get a little sympathy. I know, because I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So he just looks reserved, and he looks a little uncomfortable. I've been watching this man for 8 years, every nuance, everything he does. I've been breaking down his videos. I've been watching his reactions. I like to say I know him fairly well from a person who can know him from afar. And I don't think that he is uncomfortable to the point where he doesn't like what's happening from the love he feels. What I'm saying is this isn't his thing. He doesn't appreciate sympathy in this way. I'm just telling you guys and girls. He would rather, people stand, Trump, and all that. That's it. He just and now he goes right back into it in the first minute. Now he's back. You can see there's a change in his eyes. There's a change in his smile. He's back to Trump. But it was just that first level of just kind of, reflection. I have a feeling that he was reflecting on the 8 years every time he's walked out on that song. I think he's probably reflecting that day. And folks, just because he's Donald Trump does not mean that he cannot have post-traumatic stress from this event. Okay? I feel that there's, just looking at him, just a little PTS, post-traumatic stress. And I've helped thousands of vets with PTS. And it is completely normal and expected. And it doesn't mean that he's somehow, PTS isn't a disease, folks. It's not even a disorder. It is a shock and trauma to the system that your coping mechanisms are not designed to handle. And let's face it, having someone shoot him, Ronald Reagan went through it. And if Kennedy somehow would have survived, he would go through it. And you can take the list of people who've been shot, it changes you. So want y'all to understand is that if Trump comes out and extends an olive branch, don't be surprised. If he comes out and has an epiphany over this and felt the hand of God, we might see a very different Donald Trump. I've seen it. If Larry Flynt can find Jesus and then obviously subsequently leave, anyone can. And Donald Trump is not even close to that reprehensible piece of shit that Larry Flynt is. So let's just assume that Donald Trump is going to be a better version of himself, which is really hard to do because he has been killing it for the last 8-9 months. And his policies have always been great, but now he has leadership quality that is a little bit different. He's been reserved. He's let Joe Biden screw up his own campaign. He's pulled back when he should have maybe tilted into the fray, has withdrawn a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see what happens. Something to think about. Just some food for thought. But the interesting thing is, hold on one second. Marianne Armstrong. Sorry, folks, I don't have Olivia tonight. It makes it kind of hard, but if I can take a couple seconds, because I have to recognize people who donate to the show. It keeps our lights on. It makes a huge difference. So I always take a few minutes and put this in manually. And the reason why is because Facebook won't allow us to take tips. So therefore, we have to use a third-party program, and here we are. And it takes a little bit longer, but it is what it is. Hopefully, I can get Olivia trained up on this, and she can help us out with doing this. But Marianne, thank you so much. That is a huge donation, and we appreciate you immensely. Also want to thank Kevin. Kevin has went ahead and added a little bit to the coffers. We appreciate you, Kevin. You guys can help out by going to linktabgo.com/thedumbshow, linktabgo.com/thedumbshow, and donate if you want to. We would appreciate it. So, Kevin, again, thank you so much. So I've shown you the picture. Now I want to show you the aftermath. And people are accusing Donald Trump of trying to garner sympathy for wearing a bandage. It's ridiculous. Well, first of all, there's a couple of photos going around of him playing golf. Yeah, the funny thing that people don't understand is when you put a photo up on the internet, you know there's every single photo has metadata. Does everyone know what metadata is? No, it's not some Star Trek robot who works for Facebook. Metadata is information which is stored digitally and attached to every single image. And it will give you GPS location, it'll give you time, it'll give you date. It'll even do it when you come back home and recognize where you were. Apple's very good at it. Apple puts metadata on images, and it will take your phone data for where you were at the time it was shot and add it to the image. And it gives you what type of lens was used, what was the aperture, the exposure, what type of Canon or what type of camera you were using, what type of memory card you put it on, what format, what size, how many megabytes it is. I mean, whether it's raw data, and metadata tells you everything you need to know. So when you post a photo on the internet, that metadata doesn't go away. And Google includes those data files along with their imagery. So if you throw up an image on the internet and say, yeah, this is me in Afghanistan, I can't tell you how many phony SEALs I've exposed where guys are saying that they're team guys. And I'm like, oh, really? That's great. Got a picture, and they pull up a photo. And of course, there's other ways to do this, but you can run it through Google and then ask some questions. You see it was taken in 1987. All right, well, what was your class number? When did you go through BUDS? Oh, I didn't go through BUDS. Oh, really? Yeah, I transferred in from Force Recon as a Marine. And I immediately, earned my trident. Really? Well, I didn't have a trident, but I was assigned to Team 6. You mean DevGru? Oh, really? That's cool. And they called you a SEAL when you were on DevGru? So you can figure people out. But ultimately, they're releasing these pictures of Trump golfing. And it wasn't from July 18th or July 16th. Well, it was from July 16th, but it was 2022. So my point is people are making up stories and making up lies in an effort to make Trump look like he's trying to milk being shot. He didn't come out right after. He could have done a lot more to pump this up. He didn't. And honestly, he's handling it pretty well. Here is, just so we have it, just so you guys know what to look for. Here's the image. All right. Trump golfing. Trump's golfing. And this is taken in 2022. That's the bandage. So let me explain why you wear a bandage. Okay? There's a couple, especially with that. Is vascularly, an ear bleeds like a stuck pig, just like a nose. It's cartilage based. It's very thin layer of skin. A prominent amount of blood flow goes to the appendage to keep it living and breathing and everything else. And when you nick it, its ability to heal itself because the epidermis and the skin around it is so thin and it's against cartilage, it doesn't necessarily heal and come back together in an effective way. He just had a .556 round clip his ear. So that's number one, is he probably doesn't want to show that off. Number two, the wound will suppurate. Mike Blankman can tell you this, is it will continue to leak, and that's gross. So you put a bandage on it. The third is to keep it and the integrity sanitized and sterile in that area as much as possible with a clean bandage so it heals properly. Why is this so hard for liberals? Why can't they understand? I know they don't shave their armpits or anywhere else, But have you ever nicked yourself shaving? You put on a little piece of toilet paper, you take it off, you keep bleeding again. You put another one on, bleeding again. And it just happens. Ladies shaving their legs, same thing. But there are certain parts of your body, like right around your shin. If you nick your shin, that bleeds forever, I'm sure. Have you ever nicked your nose when you're shaving and accidentally you're trying to hit your mustache? And you're like, oh shit, and it'll just bleed for days. It's the same thing with the ear. No, I don't want you to explain wounds. No, Mike, down boy. I just wanted you to. The wound will continue to leak, especially if it's exposed and it's going into multiple levels of the epidermis or into the muscle. Especially a gunshot wound. A little bit different on an ear, but it will continue to leak over time. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we've got to just calm it down, first of all. But this, just in case anyone doubted the truth, and they're like, Donald Trump wasn't shot. Donald Trump got hit by glass. Okay. You people are idiots. Okay? Because here's the thing. Anyone who knows anything knows that when you're in a car crash, the airbag usually takes care of you. But most of the cuts and abrasions on you are from glass, flying glass. That glass is moving, essentially, when you have an impact of two vehicles, the energy and the differential of speed and overall mass, depending upon which one's going faster and which one's not, is going to transfer into the vehicle. When that glass breaks, it will still be moving at the speed of that vehicle. Just because it stops all of a sudden, you're going to still have forward momentum and inertia. Now, it may not be moving just as fast. But that's like people who say, well, if I'm in an elevator and it falls and I jump at the last minute, am I going to die? Yes, you're going to die. And you're going to die just as much as you would. Thank you, Mike. Mike just said, Matt, ears are very vascular and will continue to leak for quite some time until those vessels heal. Thank you. Exactly what I said. Thank you, sir. See, that's all I was looking for. Looking for confirmation, my friend. Good for you. So the whole point is that if you jump up in an elevator at the last minute, will you survive? No, you'll be dead. Because you jumping has nothing to do with it, because you're still going to be traveling at the mass of the elevator. So if you're going to be free falling at, 87 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour, depending on how big the elevator is. And if you have a chance to reach terminal velocity, 132 plus miles an hour, when you hit the ground, whether you jump at the last minute or not, you're still going to hit at 132 miles an hour. Okay? Okay, because if that was true, plane crashes, people would survive. Okay, everybody, on the last minute now, I want you to undo your seatbelts and I want you to jump. 5, 4, 3, 2, jump. Ladies and gentlemen, 747 went down today in Tokyo. 347 passengers were on board. 347 passengers all survived because they jumped simultaneously. Okay? So when glass hits you, you're still going to get cut. Now, what people are saying is it went through the teleprompter. That is impossible. First of all, let me explain something. I have a teleprompter in front of me right now. I'm not using it, but here it is. Hi, how you doing? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Addressing commitments and challenges faced by America's working class communities continues to be an effort in futility. Something that was written earlier today. That's my teleprompter, and I look at it, and I go ahead, and I can read it. My eyes won't move, and I look like somebody from Fox News. Pretty cool, right? Great. But if a bullet is going to hit my ear, it's not going to hit that front teleprompter. Oh, well, Matt, those teleprompters were on the side. Right, but those teleprompters aren't over here. He doesn't do this when he speaks. Ladies and gentlemen, I was wondering if you would want to go ahead, and that's not the way those teleprompters, they are slightly to the left and slightly to the right. And they are in front of him, and they're put at an angle like this, like mine is, so it can read the display below and broadcast it up. Okay? Great. No round got within vicinity of those teleprompters. In fact, when you watch the video, the teleprompters are still standing. Matt, how do you know that? You don't have proof, do you? You're just guessing, right? Oh, here we go. Proof. Proof. Here's Donald Trump. Here's teleprompter 1. Right here. Here's teleprompter 2. See the angle? Here, I'll try to go in a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't do much better, does it? That's the first shot. You can see it because the sound profile is right here. Now, did I just take this at its word? No. I took the video, and then I went ahead and I put in the sound profile into my computer, and they match up perfectly. So there's the first shot, fraction of a second earlier. He's looking forward. Turns his head to the right. Here's the first shot, and they're almost simultaneously done. Reaches up to touch his ear. Look at both monitors completely intact. See that? Both intact. 1, 2. Here's the second shot. First shot, second shot. You can actually see the time in between.
To our country.
Now,
To our country.
here's the video. Watch it in real time. Let's see if any of those teleprompters explode. Here we go.
To our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
That was a suppressed 556. I'm letting you know. I can hear it distinctly multiple times now. I've heard it. It is suppressed. So there you go. So there's your breakdown. Teleprompter's intact. Teleprompter's intact. Matt, I don't believe you still. I think the doctor's full of shit. I don't believe any of this. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Do you see this? This is the bullet. The bullet is moving at a supersonic speed, probably around anywhere from 2372 to 2480, 2490. Very close distance. There's not going to be much speed depletion at that range, but he is suppressing it, so it's probably going to be running a little slower. That was not a 5.56 full open. I'm just letting you know. He didn't have like a flash break on that thing. That was not a muzzle fully open 5.56. You could hear that is most certainly suppressed, and the gases are moving the silencer piston forward, suppressing, dispersing, and you can hear that thing. That's what it sounds like. You can hear it. Clear as day. We'll play it again in a second. This essentially is like slipstream, but it's breaking the air. The best way I can describe it is that if you have seen the movies where they shoot in the water, which is completely full of shit, and you see, the bullet going, that doesn't happen. That's complete fallacy. It's a lie. In fact, you can be in like 12 to 16 inches of water, and someone, unless they break surface tension, they're not even going to touch you. You're in 2 or 3 feet of water, they can shoot a 50 cal at your ass and you're going to be fine. Now, the concussive force of the water hitting, it might blow out your fucking eardrums. That it's still going to have a concussive force. But that bullet's not going to, it's going to fragment and just, that's it. So that's what I want you to understand. But this round moving is slicing air, and it's heating up oxygen. And it's heating up the molecules, and it's creating a slipstream behind it. This is it. Not much else to say, folks. But you've got a photograph, unless you assume it's a photograph. But you have to understand, yes, it is absolute displacement. That's what a slipstream is. But you also have friction. And that round is superheating air and the vapor in the air as well at the same time. And you're not going to see it by the human eye, but with this photograph and this lens in the speed that they're shooting, because they all shoot in a super fast frame rate. Some of these guys will get, 30, 40 frames a second. So there you go. All right, Matt, I still don't believe you. Donald Trump wasn't hit. It was a setup. Okay, first of all, you're an idiot. But let's go ahead and hear from Trump's doctor. Because why not? Now, I am going to... Hey, Benny Johnson, take note. Here, let's do this right. Benny Johnson, my name is Matthew Spear from The DUM Show, and I want to let you know what it looks like to properly give credit to a human being who creates something of their own volition, who puts the effort with their own two hands to make something great, to build something, an idea, a concept, something that can go viral, like a seed, growing in the minds of all people who consume it. When someone does that, that work is somehow precious and special to them. As the dwarf who puts mithril and stardust and diamond dust into their amazing battle axe of creation, as they pray to the gods of Aegis Fang and to the dwarven mead lords looking down from the heavens at them, as they put their entire soul into this battle axe of something the gods would use, as they take Zeus and put it into the metal conception. They stamp their initials somewhere on that creation because they want to be known for making such an amazing thing. So, Mr. Johnson, it really is a good thing to share other people's work, but alas, give them credit for the work that they do. Not erase their initials, not smear them out, not to reheat with some sort of godly molten earth to melt the initials off, not to chisel out and put BJ on there versus DJ for the creator, not to go ahead and put your watermark or a sticker over this godly weapon. You should give credit where credit is due. So, Mr. Johnson, I want to give you the credit that's due and show you how it's done. Benny Johnson recently had an interview with a doctor over at RNC of Donald Trump. He created a video and posted it on the internet. And on there, you will clearly see the Benny Show as he chiseled his initials all over and put his brand. And I have not covered it up. His brand is officially on this 4 or 5 times. And I'm going to give Benny Johnson credit as you watch this, because Benny, it's the right thing to do. You don't steal people's set design. You don't take Damani Felder's ideas and simply cut and remake the video. You don't take from lower end podcasts and shows and steal their concepts and go ahead and pretend that it's yours. No, that's not what you do, Mr. Johnson. So this is how it's done. Benny Johnson, everybody, go ahead and take a listen.
If you mess with it or it starts bleeding again.
Since you've been with him for the last 48 hours, did you do any medical assessment on the president?
Well, I'm going to check his ear out. Yeah. I went up and adjusted his ear this morning. I went up there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he missing a piece of his ear?
Yeah, a little bit at the top. Yeah.
Really?
And, it's highly vascular. Yeah. That's right. That's what he did. He tell you that whenever he first happened? He's like, that's what he told me too. Yeah.
The Netflix adaptation, right? So nothing concussive though. Nothing.
No. He was lucky. I mean, it was far enough away from his head that there was no concussive effect from the bullet, and it just took the top of his ear off, a little bit of the top of his ear off as it passed through, and it was bleeding like crazy because, the ear's pretty vascular and bleeds pretty badly. And, I bandaged it up pretty good this morning because it's not like a clean laceration like you would have with a knife or a blade. It's a bullet track going by, so it's real friable and easy to bleed again. And if you mess with it or it starts bleeding again, bleed all over. So we've got it dressed up. He'll be okay. He's not going to need it. It's going to granulate and heal in, and he's not going to need anything to have be done with it. It's going to be fine. But yeah.
Wow. I'm sure he's lying too, because anybody who talks about Donald Trump in a positive way is a liar. Folks, I want to give credit to Benny Johnson for creating a video that he actually created and put it out himself. So congratulations, Benny. You're growing. He's all grown up. He's all grown up. He's all grown up. It's kind of nice not to steal other people's shit, huh, Benny? Yeah. Plagiarism. It's a bitch. Mike nailed it with the bleeding. Lots of laughs. I said it before, Mike. I said the ear was vast. Why is Mike getting credit when I already said it? Somebody rewind that shit. Why is Mike getting credit? Somebody ban Mike, please. Blankman, it's a long time coming. Let's get him out of here. I want you to also listen to this. Now,
different videos.
I want you all to listen to me very carefully, please. By the way, I don't know what I'm doing here. Obviously, I'm nothing without Olivia, but I don't even have my goals and the link tap go information up here. And I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm a mess. Here, is it on this one? Good. We'll just do this one. Okay. So you guys can see that. So linktapgo.com/thedumbshow. If you guys have a chance, you can donate. We're not Benny Johnson. We don't steal our way to success. So if you guys want to help us out, we would appreciate it. Thanks so much. Mike rarely gives credit. No, fuck that. I'm not giving Mike credit. I want to be really clear because this is gonna flip some people out. I'm gonna say something that I haven't said yet. And don't be condescending, right? Don't be like, oh yeah, finally. I don't trust the Intel community, and I haven't trusted the Intel community since 2016. And you may say, well, Matt, you must know some of the programs where they were spying on Americans. Yeah, I do. And I will tell you, even though I am a constitutionalist, when I was doing the job, I didn't care, because I saw the things that if we missed, what could happen. And I understand that the illusion of rights sometimes is more important than the rights themselves in the eyes of people. And when that illusion bubble was broken with Snowden, I think it changed a lot of people. That's not what changed me, because I was aware of these programs. I used some of these programs. Mike didn't get banned. Amber, oh, God, people need to realize when I'm being sardonic. So my trust in the Intel community has been waning since 16, because I saw the cover stories in Iraq. I saw in Afghanistan. Man, we were responsible for some of the cover stories that would come out. It's not in the sense of contributing or providing information that was covered. I mean, we would sit here and get data that was coming in, and we would get flash traffic, and we would literally see it on CNN and Fox News completely, well, not Fox at the time, but CNN completely diluted, and it was just complete bullshit. And we're just like, well, there goes the disinformation network. You guys, I'm going to get to all these things. Just give me a second. We're working on it. We're building up. So, I believe in my heart now, for the first time, because I have enough information for me to say that I believe there is a force working to destroy Donald Trump. We know this. I've always believed this. Financially, criminally, and now there is a person who are working against his mortality. We're going to get to Fox News in a second, Tina. Hang tight. And here's why. I want you to listen to this guy, and I want you to tell me who he sounds like. Give him a listen. Tell me what you think.
You know, I look at all of these things, and I look at different videos where an assailant will pull a firearm on a law enforcement officer, and the first thing they do is they immediately pull and draw and mitigate the threat and the risk. You know, I ask why the local law enforcement officer did not do so. The other thing is that when you set up an advanced team, I keep hearing this about the perimeter elements.
Yeah.
You know, the perimeter is actually established by your threats that are in the area. So if I don't have any threats outside of 100 yards, okay, fine, I can cordon off a certain area. But if I have a building 160 yards perfectly adjacent to the stage, that's an obvious threat, especially with an elevated position that has overwatch. That's
Who does he sound like? Do we even look? Yeah, we got the same haircut. He's got a big ass head like I do too. She cut my hair too short. But we got the same haircut, pretty much the same beard. He's got a schnoz. Wow, it kind of sounds like, huh? Wow. Amazing. I mean, we've just been listening for 45 seconds, and he's already pointed out everything I said on Saturday. Let's wait.
Paradise. And, you know, we talk about eagle's nest. You also have, which no one talks about, but the water tower.
So what I'm hearing from you is it's not a failure on the ground for sure, but 100%. Also a failure in advance?
I think it's a failure in advance. I think it's a failure to have the counter snipers to be able to establish their range fin and their sketch maps.
I also heard...
Wow, we talked about sketch maps on Saturday, didn't we? It's almost like, I am way more handsome, Charity. I was going to say that too. It's almost like, wow. Wow. It's almost like you've heard all this before, but you didn't hear it 48 hours after I said it. I'll tell you what, this happens all the fucking time.
We've also learned that local snipers were stationed inside that building.
I haven't heard that piece of it yet, but that doesn't necessarily make sense unless they were actually in a window which was backed off, because a lot of times you'll get yourself in there. Sometimes you expose your rifle in a way to try and do a force protection or a show of force that actually stops things. Others are actually more tactical where they'll sit back a little bit, but a sniper for the law enforcement is only trained to shoot about 75 yards, unlike your counter sniper teams that are on but here's my problem. In having done this for so long, they always say the adage of ignorance is bliss, and I think that's true. I've done thousands of advances. I've done thousands of counter sniper operations with our teams in Iraq and Afghanistan, etc. The amount of negligence, the amount of mistakes that was made here, I have a very difficult time not leaning myself towards this was intentional as opposed to fact.
So here's the thing. Thank you, Judy. Corey Mills didn't listen to my show. We're going to watch the whole thing because it just gets better. I mean, it literally, you could take a teletype from my show and put it, you want to know why? Do you want to know why we sound alike? Because it's the truth. Now, there's a great line in Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood and John Malkovich. He says, the same government who taught you how to defend taught me how to kill. Or the same government taught you how to protect showed me how to kill. The same government that taught him offense taught me defense. And that doesn't mean I don't know his job. Because in order to make an effective at defense and operational security or PPD, you have to understand how a sniper thinks. And that's the cool thing with working with guys who run around in black pajamas. Not being one of them, because I will never claim to be such. But working with them intimately, you pick up the things that they know and the things that they do so you can be better at their job. So when you have to make a call, when you have to provide intel on the fly in real time, downrange, that you do your job effectively when you have all the details you need to be effective. And just because, you aren't doesn't mean that you're not expected to. Corey Mills and I don't know each other. Corey Mills didn't watch my show. Corey Mills is a sniper. And he knows what he's talking about. I just want you to understand this is the difference between most shows and our show, is that we're not going to order our mouth or open our mouth unless we know what we're talking about. And that's what you got to see on Saturday, was a series of absolutely 100% correct predictions, facts, and speculation. Let's listen to the rest.
But wait, talk to me about that. I actually heard you say this right the day after, which I wanted to ask you about. What do you mean intentional?
You know,
I mean an intentional failure on the part of...
No, I wouldn't say an intentional failure on the part of, but I got to just, I sit here and I scratch my head. You don't want to be the conspiracist. You don't want to be the person.
I'm telling you, because that's what it...
Yeah, I'll say it. It was intentional. And I will tell, this is how I'm going to say it. And this is going to throw some people off because it is definitely an oxymoron. Okay? It's definitely an oxymoron. It was unintentionally intentional. Wow. What does that mean, Matt? I don't know if I can understand what the hell you just said. Are you basically like unintentional negates intentional? So it was essentially indifference. So unintentional negates intentional. So it was indifference. Yes. Yep. Unintentional, intentional, negate each other equals indifference. It was indifference. They didn't fucking care. They didn't fucking care because the top didn't care. Because I will tell you something that Corey Mills might not talk about. Because information came out today, something that I knew 2 days ago, that I could not talk about because it wasn't openly released. That Iran had made, I believe back on July 14th, open threats against Donald Trump. That there was an open assassination plot to hit Donald Trump from Iran. Now, let me explain something to you. And let me explain something to you very clear. That information is complete bullshit. That information is complete bullshit. I'll tell you why. Supposedly, I told you they gave him a C team. No one understood those terms. No, they're like, Secret Service all has same, no, different levels of detail. And A detail for presidential detail, there's nothing like it in the world. The only time A detail is duplicated is when a foreign dignitary of the stature of the president comes in. A premier, prime minister, foreign leader, president, whatever. That's the A detail from that squad and the Secret Service work together. That's the only time it's even an equivalency. This is what I'm saying about the release. So the original threat from Iran, it's the 7th. Someone get that? I wish I had a fact checker here. Liv, can you find out the threat from Iran? What date it was that they heard picked up the message traffic from Iran? Honey, find that out for me, and tell me what they thought. Sorry, Karen, I misspoke. Shooting 13th, but the information, I'll get the date for you. It might have been the 7th. I'm a little tired. The point is that they said that they enhanced his security detail based upon this alleged threat. Let me explain something to you. If a foreign country is threatening the president, and we know that we have foreign nationals inside from Iran with Hamas, Hezbollah, IRGC, whatever it would be, Muslim Brotherhood, JIB, or a JIP, Houthis, whatever, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, whatever. And you know they're in this country, and there is an imminent threat. Not only would have Secret Service been there, but a military presence would have been there as well. Secret Service wouldn't have let him take that stage in an open air event. There's no fucking way. They would have at least tented it. They would have at least put up partitions. They would have at least put up watchtowers and made recon points at different levels and different variables around the area. This wasn't an A priority event. This didn't need to happen. It would have been scrapped from the schedule. Any field agent from the Secret Service who is directing PPD for an HVT, a high value target personal protection detail, you're going to scrap this event, or you're going to change it up, or you're going to put it within closed doors, or you'll have a military presence. The fact that they're talking about Iran, in my personal opinion, it's a deflection. Because what will come out is that extra additional security was requested. And what that does is it puts that question to bed by saying, we have an international incident here. This is under confidentiality. We can't go into detail, but we had an unnamed source that there would possibly be an assassination attempt on the president. Why? Why?
All I can get is weeks.
Okay. It was weeks. They said weeks ahead of time that they had a threat from Iran and his detail was increased. That information seems so suspect to me. And not until I heard that did I feel, it's not that I still don't think that this 20-year-old, listen, I want to be clear. I believe the 20-year-old did the shooting because I watched you through it last night. I watched you through it completely. The kid has a high IQ. He did exactly what I would do. I told you last night, I went through, I closed my eyes, 12 hours. I didn't sleep for 12 hours, but I was thinking about this for 12 hours. I went to kill the president in my head. How would I do it? Everything that kid did. There's a couple things I told you last night that I would change up. I would have had a distraction for the sniper team. I would have fired upon the sniper team. But realizing that there's multiple sniper teams, that guy had line of sight through those frickin' trees. He didn't need to get elevated. There were things that he did wrong. There were mistakes that he made that are amateur rookie bullshit. But overall, he picked one of the best positions I could possibly think of to hide. So I want to be clear. I believe the 20-year-old did it. I believe the 20-year-old may or may not have acted alone. That I don't know. Could he be radicalized? Well, he seemed to be very impressionable. He gave money to the Democrats. We're going to watch a video of what he did. But I want you to listen to the rest of this, and I want you to listen to him.
No, I know. And that's the issue, is that you walk this fine balance of, you're not trying to be a conspiracist, but you look at it and you go, how could this have gone so...
But it's one thing if someone on the street says it. It's not, I mean, you, Corn Mills, member of Congress, former sniper, you saying it, I mean, it makes my eyebrows go up. When you say you're walking the line on this, intentional what?
You know, it almost seems to me, and I think that an investigation is necessary at this point within Congress.
First of all, Kennedy not getting protection is completely normal. He's not a viable candidate for the presidency. Guys, we are having thunderstorms. We are probably going to lose power at some point. I want you to be where we will cut off. We will not come back. When we lose power, we lose all the cameras, we lose all the computers, all the lights, and it's more than likely going to happen. So let me continue to play this as long as we can. But Kennedy not getting Secret Service. Now he's going to get Secret Service because there was an assassination plot. Isn't that ridiculous? But Stephanie, I agree. If you're a Kennedy, you should just get Secret Service for life. It's kind of like Chick-fil-A for life, you know? If God comes down to earth, he should get Chick-fil-A for life. If Kennedy runs for president, he needs to get Secret Service. So I'm with you, Stephanie.
Not just the FBI, not just others. You know, I look back at it,
It was late June. I think the date I heard was the 27th.
All right, you know, for an individual, if you looked at the escalations and how they are trying to approach him, let's just say that it was like, okay, first we want to censor and silence you, then we want to indict and imprison you. Now we're attempting to kill you and take you off the stage.
Whoa. So you, let's slow down.
Please.
I'm hearing two things from you. I don't want to jump ahead of things, but I'm also hearing you jumping ahead of things.
Well, actually, I'm just looking at all the different possible capabilities. You know, one of the things as a military member, one of the things as a person who's run in the special operations communities before, one of the people who's actually done this is that you look at all potential analysis, right?
Donald Trump and his team have said, do not,
no, I agree.
Dial it back. Do not blame this on Joe Biden.
Oh, well, actually, I didn't say Joe Biden, to be completely
Who's the
clear.
they then? Let's be very specific.
Well, that's what the investigation has to do. Was it local law enforcement that had made the mistakes, or was there something to it? Was there other types of things that we need to be analyzing or looking at and providing? So my point is,
Will says they say he was a registered Republican and donated to Biden. So the question is, do you think if either or both of fact could have done this as a red herring? That would require him since 2017, I believe, right? To go ahead and be plotting this. Let me be honest with you. I think he's a confused fucking kid. And understand that some of the people who've assassinated others have been fans of those people. You know? So understand that some people obsess in a different way than hatred. They're infatuated or they emulate these people. And when they're disappointed, they feel a level of responsibility to take them out. There could be some reason he doesn't like them, doesn't like Trump anymore. He could love Trump. It doesn't matter. The point is he tried to kill Trump. And whatever the reason would be, more than likely it has to do with the disinformation that's been going around from the media. Okay? Let's listen to the rest.
When something's so significant, you're talking about something that hasn't happened in decades, right?
I totally...
But my point is that...
Geez, lady, okay, you know what? If I was this lady, I'd say, listen, you have two choices. You can let me talk because you're asking me questions, and this is going to take more than your 30-second soundbite, so you can move on to the next question. Or you can shut the fuck up and let me finish, or I'm just going to walk off the set. You're not an expert. You're not facilitating a conversation. Tell me how much time I have. You've got 8 minutes. Good. Shut up for 8 minutes, and let me tell you what's happening, because this is a complex, multifaceted problem that is going to require your attention. And if you're sitting here trying to talk every time I'm trying to explain it, you're not going to understand, and you're going to ask more questions, and we will never get to the point. It's like when I try to do my 9, 10, 15, 20-minute shows, and people are like, get to the point. Fuck you, get to the point. Get some attention span. Get some fucking attention span. I'm not going to sit there and give you a microwave dinner because you can't sit there for fucking 14 minutes and wait for the payoff. When I think it has complexity, it's not off the cuff. And if I sit here and go, oh, well, it's A, B, and C, and you're like, fuck you, it's D, E, F, and you're not going to listen. So Corey Mills is a much more, this is why I don't run for office, because I tell this lady, will you please shut up?
Of someone who's actually conducted these are not difficult advances. This is not like I'm putting together a stage placement in a tight shot. This is about looking at your surroundings. What is my green, yellow, and red route, which is your routes out in case? What is my actual elements that I need to be looking at as far as mitigating threats or risks or increased levels? Where's my range fan for the sniper that says, okay, here's my 100, my 200, my sketch. Here's an area where someone could shoot. Because here's my thing.
So you're
Let's
saying,
just say it's a Royce element.
You are saying this is so basic that how big the screw up was, that's what's leading your brain down this road?
That's exactly right. And
that's right.
But
that's right. It is possible that listen, do you understand that you could have picked a date in these rallies in the similar situations where anyone could have accomplished this? The Secret Service has been negligible, obviously, for longer than this. This is the day that someone took a shot. But trust me when I say this. If Secret Service did their job, this shot never would have taken place. In fact, that kid never would have gotten into position. They would have found him. He did not park his car 5 blocks away and then walk it in during the thing. He was there the night before. I guarantee it. You're not going to navigate a ladder. You're not going to be bringing in food and water in a backpack. You're not going to be carrying an AR, disassembled or assembled in any way, shape, or form that isn't going to be noticed by Secret Service. This was just a complete ball drop. The snipers were police. They were, you have to understand that Secret Service gave the police the responsibility for securing areas that were absolutely kill zone shot areas against President Trump. It is an unbelievable ball drop. But trust me when I say this. I said this on Saturday. I said that Donald Trump is alive in spite of the Secret Service and this kid's inability. Donald Trump saved his own life as he went down before any Secret Service had a chance to get to him. He dropped. He dropped. So if we're going to sit here and say, oh, well, the Secret Service team did a great job. No, they didn't. Their advanced team was complete dog shit. Why? Because Trump got shot. The PPD team, the team that's supposed to jump on him, 3.5 seconds. They let him up. They exposed him multiple times. They did not get him into the vehicle fast enough. They waited. They kept him on stage. They let his head fucking pop up. The only thing they did right was getting on stage quickly. They did not surround him properly. They did not put him in a body cocoon. They did not bend him over and almost fold him in half and literally carry him. The guy in the 3 and 9 o'clock position, lock arms with Trump, pinned him down in an L formation. The other guys wrap one hand underneath him in his crotch and one hand on his ass. The other guys are on his shoulders, and you surround him and you pick him up. And he will do this. His feet will almost be off the ground, and they will fucking carry him. That SUV should have been backed up. That door should have been at the bottom of the stairs or the hatch completely open. They should have grabbed him immediately, got him off. But what did they do? They jump on top of him. Some of the girls hid behind other Secret Service agents. It was a shit show. That's a failure. How do I know? Because Trump got shot. The tactical team that came in did not run a proper security platform around them. They did not take proper positions. Should have been at 12, 3, 6, and 9, establishing where the threat is coming from and expanding from that table. Getting clear lines of fire, rifles at the ready, not at the fucking down position. 3 tactical guys in a line, literally on a horizontal line, do nothing. One face this way, one face this way, one face this way. Weapons not at the ready. That TAC team was shit. And if that's private security, if that was Secret Service, they should all be fired. If it was private security, they should all be fired. How do I know? Because Trump got shot. Driver of the SUV. Once he was in, and all the women were in there trying to figure out where their holsters were, and they were not knowing where they're going, with absolute fear on their face, not knowing which way was up, which way was down. That driver took almost a full minute to get from that bottom of the stage out onto the road to a hospital. It took him 2.2 seconds to get Reagan in that fucking car, and he was gone. How do I know? Because Trump got shot. I already proved that the hole in his jacket was fake. Go back to Saturday, and I already showed you. 5.56 doesn't make a hole like that. People have never fired a weapon in their life. Nobody has ever put a round on target. If they're saying that, he didn't get hit in the jacket. He'd have broken ribs at that range. It probably would have pierced the jacket at that range. At least put enough of dent into it where it would have broken ribs, knocked the wind out of him, and no. Rhonda says Reagan was also 3 steps away from his vehicle. Trump wasn't. He was 30 steps away. 30. It still took them almost, 37 seconds to get him in there? So, Rhonda, I don't give a shit that Reagan was that close. The moment that those shots fired, you grab the president, you get him down. Once it's threat neutralized, once it's all clear, once it's green, once it's even yellow, you get him up and you get him the fuck out there. And you get him off that stage. That stage is the worst spot. That's the vantage point. That's where the fucking shots are going to. That's where the line of sight is. You could have at least rolled him off and went over off the side. You get him out of the kill zone. That is the number one thing with asset protection. You get him out of the kill zone. Folks, you get him out of the kill zone. And you do it a lot better than that. How do I know? Because Reagan got shot. Or Trump got shot. I was reading Reagan's comment. Someone said something about Reagan. Here's the rest.
Because here's the other thing. Let's just say it's a resource.
Tom Emmer was just on with me, and he said very specifically to me, I wrote it down. He said very clearly, it is too early to be talking about who is at fault and who is responsible.
That's why an investigation is necessary.
But, is it not dangerous? Is it not reckless to even be throwing around the word intentional right now?
So to question things as we do an investigation is recklessness, because at that point, then should we never question anything? My point is this.
I'm not trying to be PC. My point is in the political environment that we are in.
What would it have taken, right? Let's just say that resources was limited. Let's go with that as a reasoning. So how many times have you seen where they just put a police car inside of a parking lot with not an officer in it and just leave the lights on as a deterrent? Why couldn't that have been a simple thing that was placed in? Why couldn't we have said to the owner of the actual AGR company, hey, look, we don't want to disrupt your business, but we also want to make sure your parking lot is clear?
Because you don't know if there's another shooter. Stephanie, I don't know if you're responding to me. If you don't know there's another shooter, that's why you get him off the platform. Please understand what I'm saying. Every second that he stays on that platform is a threat. You're sitting there and you're allowing the president of the United States to talk about your... Have you ever seen a president get moved by Secret Service when there's a threat? I don't think you guys have ever seen it. You can watch video on it. Just watch the movies. He can't even stand up. They are running full speed. You get him off the stage. You don't know if there's another shooter. You don't know if there's explosives. You don't know if it's a cameraman. You don't know if it's one of yours. You don't know anything. You get him off the stage. You get him out of the kill zone. You protect him. You put your vests around him. They're all wearing vests. You make sure his head is lower, that it's in your midsection, right below your chest ribs. And you get him off the fucking stage. You don't leave him on the stage. This is just as bad as when the limo going down Elm braked when there was gunfire. The limousine driver, he hit the brakes and slowed down. First rule when you are exfilling somebody in a vehicle is step on the fucking gas, and it doesn't matter who's in front of you. Those Secret Service should have ran over anyone in front of them. There's no horn honking, nothing. You get the fucking president out of there.
People trying to park in there for the rally. Why don't we place an officer there? My point is that this was too...
And I apologize for my language. My live show, people are like, oh, I watch your recorded shows. You never cuss. Folks, I'm frustrated. This shot never should have taken place. They should have had this guy under lock and key long before he even was on property. I'm telling you, there will be signs. We're already seeing some signs. I've got good information. I can't say it. But everyone's saying he's a ghost on his social media. That's not true. There's information out there. There will be signs out there. in regards to this. You've got to listen to what I'm trying to tell you. This was a failure from the shooter who, above average intelligence, picked exactly where I or any other sniper would go. Corey Mills will tell you that was the optimum target, the adjacent other building, or hitting from the forest line. That was those were the, or just shooting from where he was through the trees. Now, it would have been a standing shot, and you got to discipline yourself, but there's also branches. He could have had support there, and honestly, would have been a little bit closer. Not a lot.
And when I think about 160
I'm just so
yard
uncomfortable
shot,
with even having
I'm uncomfortable with having to say it. Trust me, my whole point is that I would like to look at this and say, where was the mistake made? How can we correct it in the future? Why was this actually done? But I think that this does warrant a J13 type commission where we can actually look at it and say, let's investigate and find out why this happened so it doesn't happen to anyone. This is not about a political thing. This is about we had an attempt to assassinate a president. Mm-hmm. We really need to.
Let me ask you guys a question. Okay. I got everybody listening. Yeah, I have a shit ton of people on. Good. Let's see where we're at. Bunch of Twitter. Facebook's not doing too bad. Nice on YouTube. YouTube's looking pretty good. Okay, here we go. Just listen to me. I want you to think of the worst possible person in your life. The person who has done the most harm to you. And this could be a family member, a friend, or whatever, or a complete stranger. And if that person has done a horrible thing to you, God forbid it's rape, or stolen something from you, or maybe killed one of your loved ones, or malpractice as just a horrible human being. Somebody, if you could hate, you do hate. Does everyone have somebody in their head? Let me know. Everybody try to think of somebody. I've got my person. Do you have yours? Let me know. So just type in, yep, got him, got her. Yep. Just so I know everybody's thought of their person so we can do this exercise together. Let me know when you're done. When you have that person in your head, let me know. People, you just got to type in, I got it. You guys are killing me. Anybody just type in, yep, got it? One person. Yep. I'm listening, Matt. I'm listening to you, buddy. We have the Jeopardy theme. Where's the Jeopardy theme? Amy says, I don't. Okay. Great. Then if you don't have somebody, think of somebody like the terrorist who did the explosion in Afghanistan and Kabul airport. Think about Jeffrey Epstein. Think about Ted Bundy. Whoever it is. Okay, folks. Oh my God, your Christianity isn't going to wane. Do you get my point? You got the person? Great. I don't hate. I just hate the sin. Stop it. You got it. Okay, good. Now you have that person who you hate and you despise. You can't stand that person. You feel like Secret Service did around LBJ, where if anyone tried to shoot LBJ, they just would have fucking let him. They hated LBJ. Secret Service despised LBJ. They weren't big fans of Hillary either. They liked Bill. They didn't like Hillary. Her Secret Service detail just fucking hated her. So you got that person. And you're a doctor. And you're assigned. And your Hippocratic oath is to do no harm. And you swear an oath. Are you going to help them? That all human life is precious, no matter who it is. Are you going to save them? Answer the question yes or no. Everyone say yes or no right now. Go. I know there's a delay, so we'll wait. We'll do this. We'll do this exercise. I know you have no hate. I forget, blah, blah, blah. I know. Okay, all right. You don't hate, whatever. You guys, I'm not in the mood. You know what I'm saying. You don't hate, fine. Dislike a lot to where seeing them dead would not upset you, okay? Get it? Great. Yes or no? Sometimes you guys are so difficult. You're worse than my wife. Just answer the fucking question. Yes, just answer the question. I'd save him. Yeah, you'd save him. Right, you'd save him. You save that person because you took a Hippocratic oath, right? Okay. So you'd save him. Okay. Now, if you could redirect that patient to somebody else with a little bit of paperwork and a couple decisions, because you're the lead administrator for the hospital and you're on the board, would you do it? And all you got to do is just file a little paperwork and make sure that somebody through the A through G doctors get him instead of the S through Z. Would you change the paperwork? So you wouldn't have to do it. Would you do that? Yeah. Sure. Most people would. Okay. So now we have lines. Do no harm, but you've just justified removing that person from your care and giving them to somebody else, which may not be the best decision. You are the chief surgeon. You are the lead administrative doctor. You're probably the best. But you just made a decision to move that person. Okay, that's right. Mike says doctors fire patients. Okay, great. Now we understand. So you have choice. You have choice. Great. You've sworn to do no harm, but you justified your actions to possibly do harm. Pretty much everybody said yes. Okay. Now you understand what happened with the Secret Service. They didn't deny that to protect Donald Trump altogether. I believe they had credible intel that his life was in danger, not just here, but many other times. And now that you've done that, you don't have to just not protect him. You could just not make the decisions that truly are needed and pass it to somebody else. Like the police department, who aren't trained in PPD. And although you haven't directly put his life in danger, a decision you made justified because he's Adolf Hitler and a Nazi and a horrible human being, you just simply decided not to give it your best. So now that you have that, let me ask you another question. How many other people on that that security detail felt the same way? One of the best movies to talk about this is Dave. If you haven't seen Dave, it's Kevin Kline. Kevin Kline is a paid actor, and he looks like the president. And he goes around and he does little, scissor cutting the ribbons on opening day. And I don't remember the guy's name, Vin something. He's a black guy. He's the Secret Service agent. And he was Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction. Vin Ramsey, but it doesn't matter. You guys know what I'm talking about. Dave becomes president because the real president has a stroke. And when he had his stroke, Dave sends in. And at some point, Dave and the Secret Service detail body man, they develop a relationship. And they become friends. And he tells him to put on a sweater versus, looking so staunch with a jacket and tie. And they they get close and they're sitting there sharing a sandwich, a hero sandwich. And wannabe President Dave is making this and he's building him this huge, beautiful, amazing sandwich. Huge. Vin Rames. Thank you. And he cuts the sandwich in half and it's got roast. It's huge. It's like a Dagwood. What Dagwood would make. The only thing it doesn't have is the 2 olives with a toothpick on top. And Vin Rames' sandwich is in front of him and he's standing there. And you can see him slowly, he lowers his posture and he sits down across from the president. Doesn't touch his sandwich. And still is providing security. And Dave says, in not so many words, I can't believe you guys would lay your life on the line for the president. You would take a bullet for the president? And Vin Rames is, yes, you're right. You know, like, absolutely. Like, no fucking doubt. I would. And he goes, wow. And now you'd take a bullet for me. And you see him do that. Like, a lot of people think that at that time, he's reflecting as, wow, I would take a bullet for Dave. I don't think that's what he was thinking. I think he was thinking, oh my God, I don't think I will take a bullet for Dave. Because he's making a conscious decision that that person isn't worth dying for because they're not the real president. If your fucking head just didn't explode, now you know why there should be an investigation. If your whole head just didn't go, then you're not listening. Vin Rames made a decision in his head that he had to ask himself, would I lay my life on the line for this guy, knowing that he's not the president, knowing that he's not worth being president because he's just a guy? How many people feel on that Secret Service detail that Donald Trump's just a guy? How many of those women, when most women fell voting for Biden in that category, how many of them hate Donald Trump? How many of them can just say, maybe I just won't do my job as well as I usually do? This is why we need an investigation. This is why he is saying, and I said unintentionally intentional. That's my point. And that's why we need to look into this. And that's why every single decision needs to be looked at. Every single tree, every single rock, every single situation needs to be looked under. And anyone who was on his detail should be removed. He got shot. It's just like Kennedy. The whole bullshit that Clint Eastwood, remained a Secret Service. No, that's not true. You can watch the Corey Mills interview anytime you want. But I want to show you this. This is really interesting. By the way, folks, we are a 100% donation-driven site.
Adjusting transmitter output.
Thank you. linktapgo.com/thedumshow. We accept donations. In fact, we rely on them to continue to keep the show going. And if you are in a position where you can help out the Don't Unfriend Me show, you can go pick up a shirt. We are doing the I Identify as a Patriot shirt of the day. And this is what it looks like. I identify as a patriot. It's 15% off. You can use code PAT15 to pick that up at checkout. There will be a little spot that says enter code. Just type in PAT15 and the shirt of the show is yours. Not a bad deal. 15% off the shirt of the show. I identify as a patriot. It's a cool one. I'm wearing it right now. If you haven't seen it, there it is close up. They are amazing shirts. They last forever. They are built like a tank. I have people who've had the shirts for 4 years. They've washed them 100 times and they are still perfect. Give it a chance. And if you haven't had a chance to donate to the show, please do. Here's the video I wanted to show you. And I want you to... This video is sequenced with 3-dimensional facial mapping, then recreated based upon those schematics to recreate the size of a head, the ears protruding, the nose, the eyes, everything else, the movement of the head, and the trajectory of the round. This is a really good video, and I'm going to play it in slow motion. This is in real time, or not in real time, but slow-mo, the turning of his head and the trajectory of the round. That's how close it was. If that would have clipped his cheek, he'd be dead. If that would have clipped his cheek, he's toast. I guarantee the bullet would have went up and taken off the side of his face or gone into his orbital bone. And then then he's toast. Then it's right in the head and he's toast. Is there a reason why I can't reply to anyone in chat? Angela, I don't know. I can see you. I don't know. Maybe Facebook is playing tomfoolery. Let's play it in real time.
Take a look what happened. Take a look what happened.
You guys have no idea how close. How close he was. How incredibly freaking close. Folks, it's a fraction of a second. I don't think you've seen it lined up like this.
Take a look what happened.
If that doesn't shock the living bejesus out of you, what will? You know what I mean? That, when I saw that, that's scary. I want you to listen to this person. These people are insane. And honestly, I've noticed over the last, I don't know, 10 years, that there is a disregard for my safety from the left. They don't care about my personal protection. They don't care about my opinion. They don't like me because I'm a white male, Christian conservative, Christian loosely, who served in the military, who's straight and has kids and a wife for 25 years coming up. 25. And they have very little regard for my safety. And I find myself sharing their sentiment towards them. I am sick to fucking death of Democrats. I'm sick to death of them. And honestly, I'm almost at Bongino level. I'm almost ready to lump them all together because they should be adamantly speaking out against this, yet they're not. They're already back on the train talking about Trump's shitty diaper. I wonder if he filled his diaper. All they do, they're so fucking petulant. All they do is take the jokes that we make that are pretty harmless, like "Let's go, Brandon," and go ahead and try to make their own. And they're just so fucking cringe. I'm sick and tired of this. The RNC is coming together like crazy, and I've got to go and somehow find and see if Haley's been on, but I got to show you this video. And I'm not, when I say this, I'm not being a jerk. The thing that I've seen on this show more than anything is there's a lot of people who donate and carry the load to make sure that this show stays where it's at. I know not everybody's in that situation. So I don't ever want anyone to feel that they have to do anything. And I want to make sure people aren't feeling a certain way and trying to make others donate. If you can, do it. If you can't, it's fine. The great thing is that if we average $100 a night, we hit our goal. And that's all we're trying to do. I sit here and I see Benny Johnson do a show and he makes $10,000 and I'm like, wow. But, you know, so I don't want to sound like a jerk. Whatever you do, I appreciate it. And if you can't, I also appreciate it. I just want to make sure nobody's feel pressure to do that, because that's not what I'm ever will do. That's not. We will find a way to continue to do this show. Okay? So don't want to sound like a jerk. But don't put that pressure on yourself. If you can, you can. But what you can do is you can like the show. You can share the show. You can talk about the show. Get more people to come to the show. All those things. Go pick up a shirt if you want to. Whatever. But don't make yourself feel bad because you're in a situation where you can't, because I've been there. I am in a really good situation where, you know, we took our donations last night. We gave them the money. I mean, that's cool. The shirts that we're selling right now for the fight shirt, that's going to Compatore and his family. So when you can give back, give back. When you can't, you can't. Okay? Good. All right. Let's watch this video because this will just, these people are fucking insane. Insane.
You guys are out here on the heels of the attempted Trump assassination. Can I get your reaction to what happened the other day?
Well, it's a shame the person missed, but it's ironic that the shooter was also a Republican, and I am scared about political violence.
You're scared of political violence, but you was...
Chuck, this show is at 300 plus every night. It's right now, we're sitting at 144 just on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. But Spreely, Wimkin, these get thousands of views. And then the podcast itself gets a shit ton. So we've got it. It's just hard when they throttle. But they throttle for a reason. They throttle because there's thousands upon thousands of shows all vying for the same time frame. It's hard. We're not doing too bad. There's times where we're on that we do, like on Saturday, we were better than frickin' Ben Shapiro's live show. Okay? All right, here we go.
You were hoping that he wouldn't have missed.
Yes.
Wow. Could you elaborate on that? I mean, many people are thankful that the shooter missed and could have led to a lot of conflict in the country.
Regardless if Trump is in power or not, he has a lot of influence, and that makes him a very dangerous person, and nothing will stop. And we want to live, and sometimes... Well, Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter that included one of my favorite quotes, that sometimes the tree of liberty needs to be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
Wow. Do you hope to see others also, if all that holds true, do you want to see others try what this young man tried at this Trump rally?
I don't know if it would do any good.
I got a better question. I think that's an interesting point. Let me ask you a question, because that's your perspective, and obviously you don't like Donald Trump. Do you think the people who don't like Joe Biden should also be garnered the same type of carte blanche? And because they feel the same way you do you think they should start taking shots at Biden? Do you think we should start taking shots at our bosses who are tyrannical in the way that they manage us? Maybe our parents? What if we have an uppity neighbor who likes to stick the thumb on the needle and make us mow a certain area of our half acre that's theirs? And we don't want to do that anymore. That's the question I have. These people that go out and do these things, I'm sorry, it's a waste of time. I don't want to talk to this bitch. I want to talk to the smart one who's in charge. Because there's a smart one somewhere. And I want to know what they're thinking. And I want to know why they're thinking it. Because I can find idiots anywhere. I can open up my phone lines and find idiots. It's simple. I don't want idiots. I want people who are going to challenge the narrative and challenge me in what I think. This is not it. This person's a fucking idiot. This person read a fortune cookie. This woman's going to quote Thomas Jefferson, the slave owner. The slave owner who grabbed them all by the pussy. This is the one. This is the one. She's gonna, if her little friends behind her heard her quoting Jefferson, do you know what they would say to her and do to her? They would castigate her out. Her lifetime supply of ding-dongs would be revoked. This woman is a moron. I don't want to talk to her. So that's what they do. They always find the dumbest. You know what? Find the brightest. Find the person that actually challenged you where you had to say, you know what? That's a really good point. Show that video. They never do they? Because I promise you, if one of these assholes on the left pull me over, I'm going to embarrass the shit out of them, and they're not going to play that. And they should. So you can learn from your mistakes are a great thing. I love being proven wrong, excuse me. I love it when people prove me wrong. It gives me an opportunity to learn and grow and find a different way to attack a problem that I didn't understand at the time. Give me a break.
Okay, interesting, yeah. I see you have a crossbow over here. Can you tell me a little bit more about it and why you decided to bring it here? You have I don't know what it is. It looks like a crossbow.
Yeah, it's a pistol crossbow. I don't like firearms. This is a much safer alternative, and it's used only for personal defense as an absolute last resort.
Wow.
So you agree with personal defense, but you just don't agree with practical and high quality personal defense. You believe in, oh shit, I missed. Now this thing is going to be taken away from me and I'm going to be beat to death with it, personal defense. I see. You bring your bow. And you know what? You can take your shot. Go ahead. And then I've got 17 other friends who want to join the fight.
I hope I never have to use it.
Why did you feel compelled to bring it here? Do you feel unsafe?
Very much so. I'm absolutely terrified to be here.
I had one last question for you since it caught my eye. I see you have a hammer and sickle tattoo. Can you tell me more about this tattoo?
See, here comes the laughter, right? I've got the nuclear radioactive symbol on one shoulder, and then I've got the hammer and sickle on the other. I'm a big Chernobyl fan. So why are you laughing? That's mine. U.S. flag with a big-ass eagle. That's mine. I'm not laughing. I'll tell you the entire story. I'll tell you which carrier that is. I'll tell you what this symbol means. I'll tell you with the knife, the K-bar, in the Skelly's mouth, I'll tell you what this rank insignia means. I'll tell you who these people are. I'm not laughing. I'm proud of that tattoo. It's a $3,500 tattoo. You kidding me? The attention to detail in this thing is ridiculous. I am, that thing is badass. Look at that flag. I'm proud of it. I don't think any of you have even seen that before. I don't show off my guns. Gun show. Just kidding. I'm proud of it. I'm not laughing. Eagle. You're an idiot. You have that shit on you for the rest of your life. The good news is no one's ever going to see you naked. So.
I was born in the Soviet Union. I was brought here when I was a little kid, but it's just a symbolism of where I came from. No, I do not support Russia.
Yes, you do. Lady, you have a hammer and sickle. You don't support Russia. You support the USSR. You support the communist Soviet bloc. You support the KGB and the Politburo. You support Siberia. You support the oligarchy. You support the Russian mafia. You're a fucking idiot.
No, I don't condone anything that it does or that Putin has done. I would consider myself more of a socialist, but it's just a symbol of where I was born.
It's just a symbol of where I was born. No, it's a symbol of where's your head at. Your head's at. We're at 9 o'clock. We'll have to save some for tomorrow. Has Nikki Haley had a chance to speak yet?
Identified as crooks was
and expensive.
Jobs will be done well.
Deportation program.
Their drug coverage.
President Emmanuel Macron at 24.com really
about relaxing.
Originally, the virtual
Not changing, I'm not leaving. I think
of all the places. And his team are staying here.
Republican National Convention here in Mill.
Great economy, great
Biden administration. You know what they really?
I'm not putting on Carrie Lake. Okay, I'm just not.
They hate the fact that J.D. Vance will be a.
It's not that I.
Look,
I'm
I
just
said
not doing
today,
it.
a border.
Well, that's their.
Us safe.
Find answers.
Where's Nikki, guys?
Wow. And she loves.
What's wrong with Mel? What's wrong with Mel? What's wrong with Mel? Someone answer me real quick. Tommy Smith says, which carrier? CVN 65. Enterprise Carrier Group, Com 7th Fleet, Yokosuka, Japan, or Yokosuka, depending if you're English or not. Matt, what's the code for tonight's shirt discount again, sir? It is PAT15. PAT15, P-A-T 15. For the I identify as a patriot. PAT15. There's the shirt. It's a cool shirt. I get compliments every time. No Nikki Haley. Well, then you know what? We're just going to have to do it tomorrow.
Impossible.
How in the fuck is
Because
that?
disunified. It's so obvious they
Control over this.
Boy.
Oh, God. I'm so glad I don't go to these things.
Balls off. He is blessed and highly.
impossible. Credible reports say Trump's security
looks like he's moving up to your box from last night.
Going up to the booth.
And Donald Jr. is with us. Now, the director's not being honest after what was one of the worst security failures in American history.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if the security director is still in charge. You're on CV66. Good for you, man. Let's go ahead and watch Donald. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But also the love that we felt here. I mean, it's such a different setting than 2016. The last time we were sort of at a real convention, right? 2020 was digital. It wasn't, 2016, I was almost in a fist fight with Mike Lee on the floor of the convention because there was still this battle going on and people were uncertain what Trump was going to do to the party. What I saw over the last couple of days here in Milwaukee was just incredible. By the way, I'm really good friends with Mike Lee now, so people can evolve and people can change and people can unify. And this party
Let's go back to the beginning. I remember.
I haven't seen the Republican Party come together like this since Reagan. Yenny, honey, there's other people in the house who will feed you your wet food. Yenny, come here. Come talk to me. Come here, baby. Come on. What do you need, Yenny? Yenny, you can come over here. It's okay. Hey, what do you need? Hey, Yennefer, what's up? What do you need, baby? Oh, I got you. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Go. Hey, Liv. Mel, love you. You're the best. Nikki is on at 9:30. Ugh, can't do it. Can't do it. I gotta go. It's been a long week. I need a break. I'm tired. And Olivia's gonna make fun of me because of donations tonight. So it's gonna be brutal. Oh. Okay.
Like divine
I want to ask you about that.
We'll get to that. And so I was out on a boat with my daughter in the Atlantic, and some of her friends, and I get a call. Kim calls me and says, "Your dad's been shot." I'm like, "Well, I need more than that. What do you mean?" I didn't know anything for 90 minutes. I start calling and frantically trying to get through to anyone running in to try to get my kids together, secure, explain to my young children
Hi, babe.
what happened. I mean.
Yeah, we're not going to stay till 9:30. Did you feed the kitty? Because she's calling me. No, she tried to sneak it. She wanted me. She came in here and she did her, Dad, it's time for food, meow. No, she got wet food. Yennefer? Yenny? I'm not here. So she's like, Yennefer, you're in trouble. I'm watching you. She just ran out. She knows. She knows. Little shit. All right, folks, that's it for tonight. We've done enough. We're going to be back on tomorrow. Got some good stuff for tomorrow. We've got Amy and I will be on. Livia will be on. 68, 81, 87 for DDGs here too. Nice. Got a lot of military, Navy. Here's what it comes down to. I will continue to bring you the facts. I will continue to the best of my ability. This is where this show shines. Don't leave yet. Hang tight. This is where this show shines, is election time. We haven't even begun our breakdowns of the electoral map, our coverage of the races, the deep dives into the candidates. We do a really good job. We crushed it in 2020. We crushed it in the primaries. Our record is awesome. Mike Wazanowski, who you see come in here, his name's not Mike Wazanowski, but it is BB64 USS Wisconsin. Awesome. But he will sit in and do chat. He won't come on live, but Mike is a super smart guy. And we did 2020 together pretty much, and it blew up. We had a shit ton of people on, and it was really cool. So stick with us. It's getting close, and we got a lot to cover. And we'll talk more about tomorrow night, the RNC. RNC is going to be our main focus tomorrow. I think Trump's speaking tomorrow, right? Or Thursday, one of the two. And we should have a recorded show tomorrow. And I hope you all do great. Do me a favor. There's one thing I want to talk about, Wimkin. And don't leave. Watch this. Takes a second. It's a 1-minute video. It's a funny video. But if you have not went over to Wimkin, do me a favor. They are a huge social media platform. And it's run by Jason Shepard, a true patriot, great guy. Awesome. I love him to death. I love Wimkin. It is an amazing platform. No censorship. There's a shit ton of people over there. They are all very kind, loving, nice people. We broadcast to them. And so far, they've just been so supportive. We had one of our first Wimkin donations last night. We also had a person from Wimkin buy a shirt. They're just good people. And if you haven't had a chance to go over there, please do so. When you do register, put in your password and your username and password. And understand it's not going to come to your email. The reason why is they don't send it to Yahoo, Gmail, Comcast, because big tech doesn't like the competition with Wimkin. They have 9 million followers. It's a lot. Jason picks and approves all accounts. So if you're having trouble logging in, wait 24 hours, he'll approve it, then put in your username and password and you will be good to go. You can create your account, put your profile pic on there, and start sharing with fellow conservative minds. If you are in the mindset of, I don't need another social media platform, you're right, you don't. So get rid of the social media platforms and come over to a free speech network in Wimkin.com. Please do that for me. Here's the commercial. It's funny. You'll get a laugh out of it.
Are you tired of being constantly banned off of every social media platform for saying facts only to be proven right 6 months later after you already had to create a new account? Tired of Fuckerberg robot AI-looking bitch constantly putting you in Facebook jail? Or maybe a geriatric old bastard who shits his pants in front of the Pope became the resident-in-chief because his crack addict, traitorous son had complete media silence about traitorous actions and backdoor deals with the big guy. And those bastards ban you for sharing the story. If you said yes to 2 of the 3 above, you don't need to circle back like a failed White House spokesperson who has 2 alcoholic drinks for a name. Up in Wimpkin, we think it's fair not to sell your data to China, even though their president is super inclusive and named Xi. We kind of have a problem with the whole harvesting organs, slave labor, and communism. We also don't compromise you or get your kids to do stupid and dangerous trends. So you don't have to find out secondhand your kid Johnny is an idiot. Look no further than Wimpkin. Made and housed in the USA, Wimpkin offers all the features of Facebook and more, with complete data privacy and safe for your whole family. Download us on your app store today and join the community of users who value privacy and safety. Wimpkin.
Debbie, thank you for the donation. That's the way to end the night. Olivia can't say anything now. Ha ha. Thank you, Debbie. You're amazing. We appreciate you. Everyone, thank you so much for watching the Don't Inform Me show. Share us out with your friends. We love that. A lot of people have been like, hey, watch the Dumb show. We're seeing that more than anything. People are going into other groups like on Shapiro and Crowder and other pages that, especially liberal ones, that are questioning things and saying, oh, yeah, we'll watch the Dumb show because they covered this and they got it right. We love that. So thanks for being a dummy. We appreciate you. It's starting to catch on. And I love to see it grow. So thank you for everything you've done in supporting us. And we will see you tomorrow night, bright and early, with another recorded show. And I'll see you at 7 o'clock. Good night, everybody.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.